Hello and welcome again. It's good to know you're there. Thank you so much for your previous watch time. Thank you so much for liking, for subscribing, for sharing. And if you're gaining benefits from this, please tell your friends so that they will also gain from what you're gaining. That means you're sharing, you're getting others involved. Thank you so much. So we continue as we solve questions simple and for some people difficult, but whichever way, my style is to go through all the steps as much as we can call all through the steps. Just take it gradually so that you'll get to know it. So, and we'll take this first. So the first question is, was it solving, though not necessarily or rationalization we've done in the previous video. So just look at the previous video, we'll see how we rationalized sorts. This will be simplifying. This will have to do with addition and subtraction of sorts. This will be about division of it. So let's take this question, the first one, and find solution to it. Here in the first we have 2 root 150 minus 96 root 96 minus 2 root 24. Now when you have this, you're asked to simplify, bring it to the level where you may not be able to go further. Make it very simple. So when you look at this, the operational sign here is minus, subtraction. What you do, I'll give you a hint. You may not be able to find perfect square root for some of these values, but some of these sorts, but do it in such a way that the one that what values that will be in sort, the sort, they will have a common sort, that is a sort that have the same value for this, to make it easy to subtract, to be subtracted. More like having like terms, like say for example 2x minus, let's say x minus 2x, something like that. So at the end of the day, everything will end on a variable, that's a kind of a variable that is the same. So once the variable are the same, you can now subtract. Of course, if you have it like this, what it should be there, 2x minus this, to make it minus 3, and then minus 2x again, make it minus 5. So that's what the aim should be. Now, but if it ever happens that the sort is not the same, for example, it turns out to be like something like 2x minus y minus 2, or let's say 3x, what you will have to do is to add or subtract the ones that have the same variable. For example, now you have this and this having the same variable, so you just rearrange. Bring this one here, minus 3x, and this one here, minus y. So these two are now the same thing. You will just have it as like say 5x, minus x minus y. And since the both of them are not the same thing, you can't proceed further. You just leave it there. That is simplification. You simplify it to drop it. And this one, because they are all the same thing, minus 2 minus x. 2 minus x will remain x, and then x minus 2 will be minus x. And then you stop. You understand? So 2 minus 1 is 1, and then 1 minus 2 is minus 1. So here you simplify to stop. Now, but I've just used algebra to explain all the, in other words, I'm saying that everything at the end will have the same, every sorts will have the same thing. So let's take this off, and so we'll explain properly. Now, this, let's assume they are variables, but let's start bringing this down. It's too big to assume that they are not the same, so there's nothing we can do. What is 50? 150. Let's call. What is 150? 150 is the same thing as 75 times 2, right? Yeah. But then, what is 150 again? You can break this 75 down to mean 25 times 5. Is that not 75? Yes. Times 2. Is that not true? Yes. We can still break this 25 down and make it 5 times 5 times 2. Is that not true? Sorry. Times this other 5, sorry. This other 5. times 2. So 25 is the same as 5 times 5. And this 5 is here, and this 2 is this. So 25 is 5 times 5. So that means 150 is the same thing as 5 times 5 times 5 times 2. So in this case now, what do we do? Let's go it gradually. So, or you can pick it as 25 times. This 5 times 2 is 10. 25 times, no. 25 times 3, pardon me. This 25 times 3. 25 times 3, please pardon. Thank God I exist this way, because it now helped me to realize that I did something wrong. Thank God I decided to check it up again, cross check it. So this 25 times 2 times 5, 6, 25 times 6 will give you this. So we can go on. So 3 times 25 will give you 75 times 2. So that means this is essentially 25 times 6. So 150 is the same thing as 25 times 6. So what we have is 2 into bracket 25 times 6. Then let's go on. The next one, 96. What is 96? Let's see. 96 is the same thing as 2. 2 here is 4. 2 into 16 is 8. Good. So 48 times 2. So 48 times 2 will give you 96. So can 48 be further broken down? I think so. Let's see. 48 is the same thing as 24 times 2. So let's see. This is the same thing as saying 24 times 2 times this, because this is 48, right? Then this 2 is here. Now, can 24 be further broken? I think so. So 24 can be broken down to 4 times 6. So this is it as saying 4 times 6 times 2. This 24 is 4 times 6, right? 48 is this times this, okay? Now this 2 is this, and this 2 is this. So at the end of the day, what do we have? It's the same thing as saying, so 96 is this, 96 is this, 96 is the same thing as saying 4 times 6 times 4, because 2 times 2 is 4, right? Yes. And 96 is still the same thing as saying, because 4 times 4 is what? 16 times 6. Am I correct? Yes. 4 times 4, 16, and then this 6 here. So any of the variants can come in here. Any of these can come in here, but you have to be wise. You will choose one that has a number that has a perfect square root. In this case now, I chose this because 25 has a perfect square root, which is equal to what? 5. The square root of 25 is 5. I put it here so that I'll be able to remove the perfect square root. So in this case now, this goes, but to have this, still the same thing, this and this. But why don't let's use this? Let's use that. So that's just it. So we're going to have it as the square root of 16 times 6. So 96 is now represented by 16 times 6. This minus sign is this. So this 2 is this. 150 is the same thing as 25 times 6. So, or look at a trend. This will now give you a clue of what was to do. This one has a 6 in it. This one has a 6 in it. I am telling you, it should give you a clue that this one will have a 6 here. So let's just try and see. Let's not run into conclusion, but I'm suggesting that it's going to have something to do with that. So, okay, this is how I did 25. So let's come to 24. 24 is in the root, right? 24 is the same thing as 4 times 6. Okay, let me break it down. 24 is the same thing as, first of all, 12 times 2. What is 12? 12 is the same thing as 6 times 2. 6 times 2, right? And then this particular 2, this times is here, and this 2 is here. So 2 times 2 is what? 4. That is 6 times 4, give you 24, and that's the truth. That's what I wrote initially. If you swap it, it's the same thing as saying 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is still the same thing as 6 times 4, and it's going to give you 24. So why am I going with this combination? Is because 4 has a perfect square root. So it's going to be easy. And then it matches. By the time I bring it here, it's going to be these two, and then the 4 times 6. So without going more, without much ado, you know this has a 6, this has a 6, this has a 6. So let's split everything. This will be same as saying 2. Separate everything. 2 times 25. Separate them. Separate them. Just I like to say food. In the same plate, separate them. So this is 25. Square root of 25 times square root of 6. And then this minus sign is here. Now this is the square root of, separate these two, square root of 16 times the square root of 6. I can join them if I like. I have it like this, which is the same thing as this. And I can separate them by having it as this. So I decided to separate them for what I'll be doing. And then this one, this minus sign is this. And then this 2 is this. And then this is what? 4. And then separating the both of them, not having them in the same roof. I want to give them separate houses. Stay in your place. So let's put the times here if I like. Yes. So having this is 2. Now I think for this purpose, let me erase this part. So having this way, let me just pull this one up. Or should I break it down first? Okay. Let me pull it here to this place so it will be easy to see. So what I have is still 2. Okay, just break it down. The square root of 5 is 5. This is already done. The square root of this is already 5. And times square root of 6, not perfect square root, so we'll leave it here. This minus sign. The square root of 16 is possible. Square root of 16 is 4. This times the perfect square root of 6. No, leave it there. Leave it as it is. Minus 2 times square root of 4. Is it possible? Yes, there's a square root of 4. Square root of 4 is 2. This times sign and this minus square root of 6. None. So from what you see this is left, this is left, this is left. But let's multiply here first. 2 times 5 is what? 10 times. And 10 times root 6 is root 6. Then this minus here, 4 times root 6 is 4 root 6. Minus 2 times 2 is what? 4. 4 times root 6 is 4 root 6. Now, this brings me to what I said earlier on at the beginning. We wanted to get to a place where we will have something where the variables will look alike. That would make it easy to add. Something like, this is just, okay, let me say this is just like, let me say, let x represent root 6. Look at what we'll do. Let's do it. It's going to be like 10 x minus 4x minus 4. Okay, 4x. Hope this is correct. Yeah. This is okay. Good. So 10 minus 4 is what? 10 minus 4 is what? 10 minus 4 is 6x, and 6 minus 4. 6 minus 4 is what? 2x. Right? 10 eggs. I remove 4 eggs out of the tray. The remaining was 6. I further removed another 4 eggs. I have 2 eggs remaining. But x was represented by, or x represented x represented square root 6. Therefore, 2x is actually 2 root 6. This is the final answer. Now, there was no point going through using all this. I just did it to make it easier. There was no point doing this. There was no point doing this. I could have just done, I did it so that you understand that since this root 6 is the same thing. It's like doing it in algebraic form. Let's represent this one with x, represent this with x. Since it's x, anywhere I see root 6, let's represent it with x. You can do that or you may not do it. So just like that. So 10 root 6 minus 4 will give you 10 root 6 minus 4 will give you 6 root 6 then minus 4. In other words, it's like saying 10 minus 8, because 4 plus 4 is 8. 10 minus 8 is 2. You have it here. So this is it. So final answer is 2 root 6. Thank you so much. Now, if you have a question, please ask. If you don't understand anything, please ask. You don't understand any point, please ask. By all means, share, like, and just do one of these actions. Now, I also want you to try your hands on this. Try your hands on this. Till we meet again, thanks again. Bye-bye.